cracks is where she falls, and she always falls on her feet. The bigger the city, the deeper the cracks, and the more there are of them. She's good at finding these cracks, burrowing into them, widening them, making them comfortable and her-shaped. Until it's time to move on, at least. And sooner or later, it's always time to move on. But that's okay. There are always more cities, more cracks. Take food, for instance. How does a girl eat when she doesn't have any money? You could say that any city which has any animal life at all must have a source of free food, because there's sure as hell not a lot of field mice running around to feed the foxes. And you'd be right, but she's no dumpster diving freak in our Liberty. She knows better how to eat, and how to eat well. First, she chooses a restaurant, a diner really, maybe a bistro or a cafe, somewhere not too fancy, but not too fast food. Somewhere where you can sit down, but where sharing tables is an accepted necessity. She takes a seat. Do you mind? Could I? Oh, thank you! At the table of a lone male diner. Ideally older, ordinary looking, decent. Wife, kids maybe. Not a player, like she'd find one at this sort of establishment anyway. Not an opportunist either. Because those, they might try to wiggle in and bargain for some sex or something like that. Just a nice guy with a few notes in his wallet. She orders whatever she wants, but not too much. And she eats it fast. Never a problem, because our Liberty, she's permanently hungry for food, life, fun, novelty, whatever comes next. How she keeps that saucy, slender figure is a mystery. Perhaps it's because she's always on the move. Restless soul, not as in heart and, but as in heel and. Itchy feet bequeathed to her by her orphan mother, who left her however many years ago. Anyway, it's important that she eats fast so that she finishes her food first and calls for the bill before the guy opposite her does. Sometimes there's a wonderful synchronicity to their consumption, unconsciously. Well, unconsciously for him. They fall into a rhythm as though they really were dining companions. And when the waitress comes over and asks if they're paying together, there's always this instant of smiling awkwardness as they both vigorously shake their heads and look away. But the idea has been planted. A moment has been shared, and it will be almost impossible for him to refuse now. Those are the best nights. She calls for her own modest bill, tries to settle with the credit card she's found on the street. She never steals, no, but people are careless, and sometimes they don't cancel for days. However, this one, she knows it's been canceled, and the card is declined, of course. She scrabbles in her pocket or a bag or a coat for a few notes, a few coins, not nearly half enough what she needs. She resolutely refuses to look at the guy opposite her, who's trying just as hard not to notice what's happening inches away. Half pitying, half wary, wondering if this is all a scam. The reactions vary depending on the size and the location of the city. Hong Kongers, they're the hardest nuts to crack, while the generous Milanese, they can never resist rescuing that damsel in distress. Desperate, she will offer to wash dishes there. Or, here, take my bracelet. It's silver, it's not gold, but it's all Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I think it's my rent, the check. It's usually gone out by now, but there was a problem with payroll at work, and they said it would come 1 week later. Anyway, it's a real pain. Oh, so sorry. You don't want to hear my story tonight? I know that. Thank you. And he'll wave away her thanks, her excuses, her lies, with a resigned, or a sympathetic, or a Samaritan smile. And later that week, he'll make sure to tell all his buddies, or his brother, or his son, maybe even his minister, but not his wife or his girlfriend, about the girl he paid for. And all that month, he'll feel pretty good about himself, either for helping out a dear soul in need or for not taking advantage of the situation. A charitable glow for the price of what? 15 pounds? 20 US dollars? 180 Hong Kong dollars? Thousands would pay thousands more for that feeling. She has pulled this exact same trick in every major city in Asia, and plenty more on 5 other continents. And it always works. Thanks to the kindness of strangers, though, she never goes hungry, nor has she ever had to sleep on the streets. There was one time, though, the guy just flat out did nothing. He kept his eyes down throughout the meal. He paid his own bill, and then he left. He turned out to be deaf. So the soft-hearted waitress picked up the tab. That was in Shanghai. And yes, the Chinese, contrary to rumor, they're actually very generous people, and they're good tippers too. Even Liberty sometimes has to take that bar job sometimes. But her one piece of documentation, her one object of value which she carries on her at all times, shoved down the back of her swimsuit on a beach in Thailand, or tucked between the pages of a secondhand book, is her passport. Because that's the key to her freedom. Nothing else matters. The things that others seem to want in life, to need just to sustain life as they know it, they're not necessary to her. Things like a home, smartphone, bank account, Facebook account, Twitter handle, boyfriend, children, family. She could have them if she wanted to. And she's enjoyed playing around with other people's when the opportunity arose. But really, nah. The constant maintenance of all these things, they just put her off. Why stay in some small dump in the suburbs, eating takeaway food and browsing BuzzFeed on an iPhone, when she could be doing something else, something better, something new? Liberty, she bores easily, which is why she's the queen of one-night stands. Whirlwind moments which blur, ironically, all into one for her, but which the others you should remember for a long time. It was so weird, he or she or they will say. I never normally do that sort of thing, but there was this girl. And so whenever she needs somewhere to stay, she first finds her someone, and then she starts working her peculiar charm. It never fails, because if it looks like she's getting nowhere, she just moves on, instantly and without ceremony, sometimes in mid-sentence, leaving whoever's mouth half open on the last syllable of jealous or sofa or wife. The next morning, having found just the right mark and said and done the right things, she'll wake in a delicious tangle of limbs, smiling and dewy as a jasmine flower. She'll tiptoe to the bathroom and brush her teeth and let herself out into the freedom and the bustle of the streets, whether it's the Barcelona sunshine, the shimmering heat of Rio or Bangkok, the blustery Parisian avenues, or that Beijing smog that greets her. It doesn't matter. Every day is a fresh start, a new adventure, looking for the cracks she can fall into or between. She has so many memories, so many days and nights and people and places, that she has no memory at all. Sam Carter's work. Thank you, Sam Carter.